Liverpool are clearly going out and getting another bunch of great players to fill in this team after already an incredible season. Christian, Arne Slot, is he building a dynasty right now?
It feels like we're on the precipice of something new for Liverpool, where even after a successful season, they're like, all right, we need to retool even harder. Which is, from a player perspective, that's really never been the case, where players are like, I gotta go there. And so that's fairly new. And then also from the club's perspective of like, yes, we're going to spend money to bring in the best players. Florian Wirtz, for that to be a realistic amount of money to spend to bring in a player, it's just not something we're super used to with Liverpool. So it seems like they're going to be a scary team. It feels like they are, even maybe more than a dynasty. It feels like they felt like they missed out on opportunities to really win more trophies, and they are making sure that isn't as likely this time around, because they were so good in the Champions League league phase that for them to kind of sputter out and lose in penalties, I think that leaves a bad taste in their mouth. And this is what we're kind of seeing with Arne Slot and the club of like, no, we can even be more ambitious than we were last season.
Well, I also think Champions League with this new league phase system, which I love. I've been pro from the beginning. I think it's great, especially as it started playing out. The 8 match days, I think, led to so much more fun, so much more mystery, so much more excitement, so much more anticipation than we kind of knew what was happening in the group phases, where you don't have that in this situation. And I think what it showed is this was closest to American sports that European sports have ever gotten. Because, yeah, you were great in the league phase. You were first place throughout the whole thing. Hey, that didn't matter because you sputtered out during the knockout stages. You have to build momentum. It's same as MLS. It's same as NBA. You have to build momentum towards the end of the season. And because the Premier League is such a difficult grind, you need to go out and get more depth to be able to handle some of these teams sort of coming into form, like a PSG who took their time finding form, go on, barely make it into the playoff for that next round, and then go through the knockout rounds. And as you saw, won Champions League for the first time in their history. So as far as I'm concerned, going out and getting players is something that was absolutely necessary. But it's the quality of player they're going out to get. It's the decisiveness by which they're going out to get players that tells me that they realize, look how much probably value and money was brought in by winning Premier League. Imagine you go out and you can do the same thing in Champions League. Imagine you can be one of those stalwarts that's always competing, like your Real Madrids, like your Bayern Munichs, like your Barcelonas, like your PSGs. If you could always compete for a Champions League final, think about how much additional value that adds to your club. They're moving into, we've heard Liverpool fans talk about their club like they're one of the greatest clubs in the world because they had all this success. And I'm assuming, before you and I really started paying attention to the Premier League, they were one of the biggest clubs in the world. But all them names are old now. This era of Liverpool matches the fans' bravado of Liverpool. They have very good chance. Florian Wirtz was one of those where I'm like, dude, he's going to Real Madrid. That's how big of a player he was. For him to choose Liverpool and not follow the manager that made him a star, that made him this player, tells you everything you need to know. Liverpool has put themselves on a pedestal, on a level higher than they were before. This is huge.
They could arguably, with the roster that they have, and bringing in Wirtz, bringing in Frimpong, bringing in possibly Kirkez. They could be the Man City. The recent history of Man City if they because I think what the Liverpool brand and I think for players it's more and more exciting, given LeBron is an owner and all that stuff. But then also how people are like, it'd be a dream to be able to play with Messi or whatever, like, and people will, like, you see with Inter Miami, these players taking next to no money to just be like, I can at least say I played with Lionel Messi. I'm not saying it's the same thing, but I'm saying for players that want to win and want to win trophies to say, I want to play with Virgil van Dijk, or I want to play with Mohamed Salah.
I've waited my whole life to play with Harvey Elliott.
Everybody's saying it, I know. But
Gravenberch? Oh, man.
I think it says a lot about Liverpool, which is, even Mohamed Salah said it in an interview about when he was talking about his contract. He was like, I didn't know they were going to resign me because it's not what Liverpool does. They usually don't give older players like these big contracts.
Well, that brings me to my next point. Are they sliding away from what made them great? Remember, they were like, they had a system. They don't pay anybody over 200,000, pounds a week. And they don't go out and spend more than the money that they can find value in. I think they maybe overstepped it with Darwin Nunez, and you're seeing sort of the effects of that. But I assume that would pull them back into their system. And now they seemingly haven't. They seem to be growing that. They seem to be going out and spending big money and paying a lot of money in wages to players. Are they way overblowing what made them great?
It's interesting. You wonder if it affects the culture of the team in any way. Andy Robertson is also a player that I believe is going to be leaving as well, which that is a piece of a player like that provides a lot of like leadership and stability for the team. So look, am I worried? Not really. I don't think it's going to be. I don't think they're going to all of a sudden be a poor team. But the identity, like Trent leaving, it makes a little bit of a difference. The style of play is going to be a little bit. It's going to just look a little bit different from the last couple of years. But even last season, with Arne Slot coming in, nobody really thought he could match what Jurgen Klopp did, or at the very least, everybody thought there would be a period of adjustment. And it's like, he's arguably better than Klopp as far as getting the most out of his players. And again, I attributed that like to not only the way they play, but the lack of the very few injuries that Liverpool had this season. So you have to give credit to the coaching, the training staff. They seem to have a stable and strong foundation that, yes, they could turn out to be some kind of a dynasty for Liverpool.
Yeah, look, I felt like I'm more than most. I kind of was very confident about Arne Slot coming in. I didn't think he'd be that great. I thought he'd be an improvement over Klopp because I think his system would have been an advancance. I didn't think he would run easily
no one did,
to the victory. But can he do it a second time? I think we have to wait to see, but they're certainly getting the right pieces to do that. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Guys, if you want to check out all Yahoo Sports for all your soccer coverage, powered by OneFootball, obviously you're on the right page for it. If you want to check out more of us, we're the Cooligans. You can click right down there and subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. You can have more fun conversations like this in your ears. We'll see you soon.